Alright, so welcome back to part 2 of our course orientation. So I left off talking about when you work with your student, when you do tutoring sessions, unless it's a close relative of yours, it's just a good idea to do this either at school or in a public place, just for your own protection, as well as obviously the protection of our department. So you need to complete 5 hours of tutoring. So an example of that would be, because the kids are about ages 4 to 9, I would recommend doing shorter sessions. So an example could be you're going to meet with them 10 times for 30-minute sessions, or you're going to meet 7 times for 45 minutes, however that is. An hour is kind of a long time for some of the kids on the younger age. But you want to make sure that you complete those 5 hours before the end of week 10. And of course, this is not the last time that I'm going to talk about this assignment. So this is just kind of to give you an overview. Alright, then we have a position paper. So this is what we call the key assignment for the course. So for every class that you take in our department, you have what's called a key assignment. And so that's the assignment that we feel really pulls together all of the course objectives and is a real good demonstration of what you've learned over the course of the semester. So for this class, it's a position paper. It's a 10-page paper, and it's going to cover various topics for the course. You're going to have pieces. We're going to talk about pieces of it throughout the semester. So like we'll do the definition of reading. We'll have you picking the topic you want to write about. We'll be talking about the ideal reader, which are all components of this paper. You're going to share your definition of reading. You're going to discuss the components of instruction for an emergent reader, give examples of how you would apply these theories in practice. There's going to be, in the syllabus, there is a more in-depth description and a rubric for this assignment. So if you want to learn more about it, and again, we'll talk about all of these things as the semester goes on, but just to put this on your radar that this will be due. So you're going to notice that as you look at the assignment now, it's going to be really important that you do all of your readings and you take notes, because we will be asking for references, and you'll be able to find all of the references you need from the course materials. You're not really going to have to do a ton of outside research to do this assignment. The 2 textbooks that you need for the course are our Rowe, Smith & Burns Teaching Reading in Today's Elementary Schools. That year is actually wrong. I believe it is. Oops, sorry. There we go. I didn't change the year, but it's the 11th edition, so I changed that piece. So it just came out last year. If you have the old one, which nobody should because we listed the new one in the with the bookstore, but if for any reason you have the old one, most of the chapters are the same. They're just out of order, and so it would kind of be a hassle for you. So I would recommend that you make sure you have the 11th edition, and then you need Phonics from A to Z, 2006. It's a really good practical resource, and we're going to be reading big chunks of it throughout the course. But this is really our primary text, the teaching reading. Alright, so just some kind of odds and ends and notes. In case you're not familiar with an online course, our portal, our program that we use, platform, that's the word I'm looking for. Our platform is Titanium, and it is our own version of Moodle, if you're familiar or have taken a course before with a Moodle platform. What it does, though, is it tracks your online participation. So I can go in and I can see how many times you've logged in, when the last time you logged in was, how long you were logged in for. It gives me an idea if folks are checking into the class on a regular basis, which is important. It's expected that you'll access this Titanium site at least 2 times a week, but you'll be on there several times a week. So 2 is kind of a minimum. And, not that I do go through and see, how many minutes you've logged in, but know that it does track your online participation. Everything that you turn in has a timestamp. It has been my experience that timestamp is never wrong. I do know that we have some international students, and so you should be aware that Our timestamp is obviously set for Pacific time. I usually give our international students a little bit of flexibility in terms of that, Monday at midnight deadline. So depending on where you are in the world, you just need to have that conversation with me about when your assignments are going to be due, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to turn them in early, but make sure that whatever Monday midnight your time is, that's when they're being turned in. So aside from Titanium tracking your online participation, also know that all of my lectures I upload to YouTube. So there's always a link to the resources from YouTube, but there's also you can also go to YouTube, and my channel is public, and you could just Google my name and find all of my very exciting lectures for all the courses that I teach. But I can see how many people are viewing as well, right? Just like any YouTube video. So I get an idea, if I only have 13 views on a particular week, I know that more than half my class is not listening to the lecture. So, again, not that I want to track the minutes that you participate, but you should know that these things are stamped. We do get to get an idea of who's checking in and who's not, and that really it's in your best interest to make sure that you keep up. The classes do require quite a bit of participation. So you should expect to spend at least 6 to 10 hours a week for this course, and not all of that time is online. Generally, the things that you need to listen to will be, I'd say, about an hour and a half worth of viewing and listening, active listening, usually 3 to 4 screencasts for a lecture. But not all of the time, the 6 to 10 hours is spent online. So obviously, there's a lot of reading. The textbook is a great textbook. It's very easy to read. It has lots of practical suggestions. So I don't think you're really going to mind reading the textbook. It's a good resource. And so a lot of your time will be spent doing that, and then crafting responses and working on your papers and all that stuff. So not all of it is online, but I would say 6 to 10 hours a week, and definitely on that upper end in some of the more intense weeks. So kind of some more tips. You should make sure that we have a couple of different ways to get in touch with you. Use your CSUF email for all your communications. It's much easier, especially if you're trying to get into like Google Docs and stuff. You need to go through with your Fullerton address. Make sure the department has a cell phone or a home phone number for you and a mailing address. They should. You're all new. You're all just been enrolled. We should have that. Make sure that you're checking your email frequently. So through the Titanium site, I send out group emails. We have a news forum. I usually also send those through email, so I just email this to all students. So if you get the email, you can read the message through your email, and then when you log onto the site, you could also read that message through the news forum as well. But make sure that you're checking in frequently, especially, when we have stuff due. So, because sometimes, I'll get a bunch of emails about a question that people are having, and you may be having the same question, and then you'll see that it's already been resolved. This is an important piece when you do submit assignments. Please make sure that you put your name and what the assignment is. So, for example, we do the article review. There used to be an article review in this course. Your assignment should be saved. Your file name should be, Ann Smith 508 article review, right? .docx, or whatever version of Word that you're using. This is really important because when I then go ahead and I grade and I open up your folder, everybody calls it article review, right? And so then that means I need to spend another 30 to 40 seconds for each paper renaming your assignment to then save it, because what I do is when you turn in assignments, I use the comment feature in Word to give you feedback on it. And then so also don't save them in PDF. I really do not like using the Adobe comment feature, so turn all your assignments in Word. This way we can use the comment feature, you can use the track changes, you'll get all your feedback in a timely way. I don't have to email you back and say please don't send me the PDF. Your assignment, don't worry about it being reformatted or anything. Really, we just want it in Word so I can put the comments on it. But if you name it correctly, saves me a lot of time. If you misname it, then I get annoyed when I open it, and who wants somebody that's annoyed reading your paper, right? So make life easy for everyone. And going forward in every class, every professor will appreciate this. So it's also a good idea to maybe not run yourself into a Monday at 11 p.m. deadline for turning your work in. Every now and again, particularly at the beginning of the semester, I will tell you, Titanium tends to crash. So there's so many people on it, and everybody's out at the same time. They've told us that they fixed it, but I have yet to have a semester where our portal does not crash. And so it would just be terrible if it crashed for you on a Monday night at 11 o'clock and you need to submit your work. So, just be in the habit of maybe not always pushing it to that deadline. This way also, if you have questions or you want to see what other people do, and it just gives you some more time to do things. But especially with the technical difficulties, you don't know if your internet's going to go out, if your electricity is going to go out, all kinds of things can happen. Alright, so then if you need help, you can contact the CSUF help desk for your tech issues. They're very helpful. They will help you with all types of things, so you can either call them or you can email them with your tech questions. I can do some of the basics with you, but seeing as, there's 30 or more of you in this course, and I do have 3 courses, it's, you're not going to get as timely a response from me. So, and if you have a Mac and you're having problems with Java, you're having problems opening the things, it's definitely a question for CSUF. I recommend that you use Google Chrome. It tends to work. That's how I put everything up on Titanium, so I check it. So if I've put it up in Chrome, I know it works in Chrome. If you use Internet Explorer, sometimes there's issues. Firefox has not been working well with Titanium the past couple of semesters, so I would recommend that you use Chrome as well. You can use the Titan Help Desk. Blackboard Help, terrible. Look at that it still says Blackboard Help. This is how old this PowerPoint is. I'm sorry. But this should be Titanium Help. And so that's it. This is the next thing I'd like you to do is make sure that you go in to Titanium, you update your profile. It's great if you put a picture up there. It's nice to see everybody's face when we do assignments and get messages back and forth from one another. So you can go to your homepage and you hit edit profile. The great thing about using Moodle as a platform is that so many people use it, and so if you ever can't figure out how to do something, you can just go to Google and Google whatever your question is and just write like in Moodle, right? So how do I do my profile in Moodle? And you can find resources all over the web for this, and so even if it's not the same exact version, it usually works just fine. It's pretty similar. Go into our course. Get familiar with what's on the checklist for this week. You need to complete the reading department questionnaire. It's called the entrance exam. It's 100 questions, but it's an entry-level exam. Obviously, we're not expecting you to get all those questions correct. You're going to have your literacy autobiography due this week. In your syllabus, it describes exactly what that is. You have until Monday evening to complete that. Please take a look at the assignment description in the syllabus. And in the next couple of weeks, I expect that you're probably going to have lots of questions. You can go ahead and you can email me. You can post things on the forum. You can reply to my posts in the news forum. If you like, you can send me a message through Titanium. But really, let's if you have those questions about the course and about how to get started, just make sure that you go ahead and you feel comfortable asking them so that we can really start off on the right foot. Keep in mind too, this course is the foundation for all of your courses, so it's really important that you really give this particular course your all, and of course we want you to give all your courses your all, but this really lays the foundation for everything else that you're going to do in this program. So it's really important that you build your knowledge base here and that you really understand the foundations of reading. that we are laying for you in this course. And so, like I said, this is a great class. This is a great program. I really enjoy being a part of it. I hope that you do too. Again, if you need me, you can message me right through Titanium. You can also find my phone number is on the syllabus, but it's easiest usually to get me through email. So go ahead, log on to the, kind of poke around through the rest of the site and see what's up for this week.